The downside to working out of your bedroom. Got to make it look presentable.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we'll get there. Basically, I'll just get started and we'll just get to chatting,
For sure. Sounds
pretty
good.
much. So, roll intro. Welcome everyone to Midnight Roasters, Midnight Mornings. That's the name we're calling it. So, going to be a first in a series of these with various different people. Maybe uh, Matt Krause here more than once. We'll see. My
We'll
name's
see if
Matt.
I come back.
Yeah, so it's Matt. So you can't go wrong with this. Matt, why don't you tell me a little bit about your blog that you have, Matt's Coffee Chat?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I started the blog back in August of last year. So I've been going on for over a year now, which is crazy to me.
Nice.
Who knows where the time's gone?
Right.
And the idea kind of came to me because I was involved in the coffee industry for about six and a half years, leaving in May of 2019.
Were you like a
and
barista?
in between, sorry?
As a barista, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I spent the vast majority of the time as a barista. Also
Nice.
did a bit of managing in there as well.
Cool.
Drank a lot of coffee.
Oh, I'm sure.
And yeah, it was a good time. And I miss it every now and then.
What is it you miss? The managing, the serving, I'm sure you don't miss making the coffee. You can do that yourself in your own time.
That's true, but I don't have any fancy espresso machines.
Oh, true.
So,
Yeah, I guess that's right.
I do kind of miss that.
Yeah, fair point.
But honestly, just like connecting with people over coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Coffee's great for meeting people, getting to know people. And I'm a people person, so it's a good fit.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand. Is that why you called it Matt's Coffee Chat?
I don't really know how I kind of just decided on the name, but want something a little catchy.
It works.
I like rhymes, so
There you go.
Yeah.
A lot of things rhyme with Matt.
Right?
So
Which is nice.
Good. Exactly.
It's a good name to have.
Yep. No complaints from me.
Right.
Cool. For a year now. Have you you just kind of making the blog to kind of stay in touch with kind of the coffee culture and all that stuff? Are you making it for any other specific reason, just as a hobby, I guess?
Yeah, honestly, I think my main reason for doing it was really just as a hobby. And then it's become a lot more than that because, like you say, I'm, staying connected with the coffee community. I've met a countless number of people who just
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like.
no doubt. A lot of people, for sure.
And I've been introduced to so many great roasters and stuff as well. So it's and drinking tons of coffee along the way. It's been a good time.
Yeah, no, sounds like it. Yeah, it's I've seen some of the reviews that you've put up. Obviously you've reviewed ours. I'm not biased,
Yeah.
but I like it.
It's a good one.
I've seen Smoking Gun on there, which is a local, I think
Yeah.
the more immediate local roaster
For sure,
in the
yeah.
area. I
Yeah.
recognize Rampage Coffee as well. They're out in Alberta, right?
I believe they're in Saskatchewan, actually.
Saskatchewan. I've seen their ads everywhere, so that's why I'm like,
Right?
oh, I know those guys. So
Yeah, they're a great group too.
there are a countless number of coffee roasters, and I
Oh,
think
for
the more the
sure.
merrier. Like it's
Absolutely.
everyone has their own slight style.
Yep.
There's people always looking for different varieties, different flavors, different styles. And like considering there's no real science behind roasting yet, like we're still figuring it out. I think
Yeah,
that's kind of leads to all these different people. I don't want to say innovating, but just making it making their own style of
experimenting.
coffee. Yeah,
Yeah,
experimenting. Like
yeah.
I've done my share of roasting, and yeah, it's not like it's a straightforward process.
No.
Not at all. Have you done any roasting yourself?
It's something I've always wanted to do, but I haven't quite gotten there yet.
Yeah, I mean
But
the machines aren't cheap, but they're coming out with
yeah,
these ones where you can actually just they're for the home to make small
yeah,
batches. I haven't tried it. I'm sure they're fine, but definitely for
yeah.
the
There's
people who
actually a guy out in Toronto I've connected with who has recently started home roasting, and
nice.
he sent me some of his beans
Oh,
that he
cool.
had roasted, and they were pretty good. Can't really complain.
Yeah. I mean, when you understand the theory behind it, it's hard to make a bad bean. Like once you know what you're doing, in
Yeah,
my opinion, I'm sure there's people who do it terribly and think it tastes great and they keep doing it. But
of
you
course.
know, with the model that people have now, I think it's quite hard to um, purposely make a bad batch. I'm sure there's different flavors that aren't for everyone, but
Yeah, but you gotta try really hard to mess
yeah,
it up.
exactly. Well, I think that lends to the whole like that's because I'd reached out to you originally to talk about third wave coffee because I
Hmm.
think it's an interesting topic considering we've unofficially gone through two waves already. We've just kind of
Yeah.
called it third wave, and I believe we retroactively like determined what was first and second wave. I think
Right.
I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened because I've never even
Uh,
heard of like them before, and no one coins first wave when it
right.
happens because that's not that's not how you coin it.
Yeah.
I believe first wave was literally just the advent of eh, cheap, accessible coffee to the households, right?
Right. Yeah,
Like
from
there
my
was no one
understanding.
cared about origin, no one cared. It was all blended to be whatever, cheap
Exactly.
cans of coffee and free refills at restaurants, I think.
Yup.
And then when people like founders of Starbucks came around and started actually putting emphasis on origin, bean origin, and like not roasting methods, but roasting it better, maybe.
Hmm.
I think that was what was determined second wave, and now people are catching on more and finding more unique flavors and uses for not uses, but flavors and styles of coffee, and that's what's been become known as third wave coffee, and which to the point where people are making it at home. And again, if I'm completely wrong on that, more than welcome to be corrected. But I'm pretty sure that's what the three ways of coffee are.
Yeah, that sounds like a good summary to me.
Cool, awesome. Glad I did it. So yeah, I mean, like, what are your perspectives on it? It's basically like I've said it before, but it's like equatable to wine these days.
Oh, for sure,
Like
absolutely.
how
I
serious
think,
people take it.
yeah, I think it's an exciting time for coffee, you know.
Hmm.
Because like you said, there's so much experimentation going on. I've tried coffee with like countless different notes attached to it, and it always seems like turn the corner and there's something new coming out. It's wild, but I
Yeah,
I like it. I'm here for it
yeah, yeah. I think a lot of us are. I mean,
for sure.
there's a company that's making like putting spices mixing in spices with their coffee, like
Interesting.
hot spice. Like
Yeah.
I wish I could remember who it was. But I haven't tried it. I personally don't think I'd like it because I think spice. I've tried like hot wings with coffee and other hot
Yeah.
drinks, and it just doesn't blend well. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't
Yeah.
know. But again, I haven't tried it. I didn't think I'd like spicy chocolate, and it's quite
Hey,
good,
yeah.
and that's a thing. So who knows?
For
But
sure.
I think right now a lot of people are trying to make the next big thing with coffee.
Yep.
Like accidentally create the next cool thing that becomes super popular. Um, yeah, I think that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah, I
Things.
think with like so many different roasters too nowadays,
This
you
is water, by
gotta.
the way. It's late. I'm not drinking coffee, so anyway.
um, yeah, with so many different roasters nowadays, you got to find some way to distinguish yourself from the rest of the pack, right?
Yeah. Do you think
Um,
everyone can have a unique flavor, or is it mostly on branding these days?
that's a good question. I think it depends who you ask too,
Hmm.
because I think if you were to ask like the average Joe coffee drinker, he'd be like, "Oh, this coffee tastes like coffee," you know. Um,
There's definitely, yeah, there's a
but
lot
the
of
more
people
you
like
get
that.
into it, yeah. But the more you get into it, the more you can kind of distinguish even slight differences between uh, roasters.
Hmm.
Um, but I think a lot of it too does have to do with branding. Um, I recently tried this coffee from a roaster in Alberta, and their bags are like they're fantastic.
Yeah,
And like yeah, I think yeah, there's that, and then like obviously how you market yourself too is another
for sure.
factor in there as well. But
Yeah, I mean that's always a factor. I'm curious about if how big a factor it is. But you're right. Like there are definitely people who are making like really good quality coffee because they've been in the industry for years.
oh, for
And there's
sure,
others that are new, still figuring it out, but through that are coming up with their own style and flavor, whether
absolutely.
accidentally or through experimentation, and they're just kind of figuring it out. And I think that's it's pretty sweet. So
And honestly, like yeah, there's like coffee for everyone out there now. You know,
yeah, well, except for the
like
people who think it all tastes the same.
except
But again,
yeah,
that which brings my point back to like wine. It's like it's the same for people who don't drink wine. Like if you try a wine, like you're probably not going to like it, or you
yeah,
might, but it all kind of tastes the same. It might taste a little bit
yep,
different if you line them up together. But if you drink one wine one week and a different one another week, it probably doesn't make a difference for the average person who doesn't try to
right.
to do that. And the same goes for coffee. You could have two different brands. They might taste identical to you, especially if you add milk and sugar.
Oh, for
So
sure,
most
yeah,
so the whole third wave concept kind of goes back to like specifically like when it comes to black coffee, I think, because most people who add milk and sugar, and now there's exceptions. I'm sure there's people with incredible taste
mm,
buds who do taste differences in two different brands with additives. And I've nothing against that, but it's really interesting um, that the people there's people who buy different brands because they feel like they want a different flavor
yeah,
and mix it up every other day.
hmm,
So I'm like, yep, that's pretty cool.
right. Oh, for
Can't
sure,
wait to
for
see where this
sure,
evolves to.
exactly, right.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on that? Like, what's the next step? Like, more people roasting from home? Do you think roasters are going to be more accessible to like like average homeowner?
You know, I can see that happening slowly but
Hmm.
surely. Um, Especially in the world we're living in today, too. You
Oh
know,
yeah. I mean,
right?
it depends on how long this keeps up. People are going to start looking for
Yeah,
newer and newer hobbies,
totally. But
staying inside.
yeah, I can totally see that. I think that that might be where things will shift next.
Hmm.
Because you have right now, you have people who are caring about the coffee they drink. Um, you know, they're craving, certain notes, looking for certain criteria when they pick up some coffee.
Yeah.
Um, and then to have more control over the roasting process in your own home just makes sense
Hmm.
as to be the next logical step in this
Imagine being
journey,
able
in
to
this
make,
wave.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Imagine trying to make the
Um,
best kind of coffee for yourself, like the most personalized coffee you can make.
yeah,
Yep.
right. And like I say, home roasting is something that I would like to get into at some point. So that's where I'm headed.
Nice.
But yeah, and I think that's just you know all the more exciting too. see
It
what people come up with.
it definitely yeah, actually that's a good point because like the more people who start doing this, like the more knowledge kind of goes into the big pool of how to make coffee.
Oh, for
Because
sure.
you can there's so many books that like I've got two. I don't have them here. They basically tell you that it's not a science. Take this, like, don't take it with a grain of salt, but like, heed these words, but it's open to interpretation. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
there's very specific things you do need to know,
Yeah.
but past that point, figure it out.
Yeah, you're just kind of
you
winging
know, yeah,
it,
it's
right?
like I read this other book and I thought I could add on to it with this book as
Yeah.
on the preface. And I'm like, okay.
Right?
So yeah, the more people who start roasting from home, the more I think we're gonna people are gonna come to a conclusion on different roast types because that's still up in the air as
Oh,
far as like
totally.
the very like people serious about it are concerned, um, as well as the roasting method and all that stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah,
have you?
it's exciting to see
Yeah,
what'll happen.
we'll see in the next 5 years or so.
Yeah.
It's a shame that there's a lot of coffee shops closing because of COVID, but
True.
I'm sure like there's going to be things coming up from that.
Oh, for
Hopefully,
sure.
I
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be crashing. Like coffee's been on the rise for like a steady rise for a number of years.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
the market growth on that was insane last year. So I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it'll bounce back once this is all over. So.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So on your blogs, the ones I've read, you pretty much always give 4 or 5 stars on all the coffee. Have you ever like been completely honest and put like a 2 out of 5 and been like this needs work, or do you
I've
tend to
got
be
this
fairly generous?
I've I've got this question a lot actually.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and I think, I try to be as honest as I can in my reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Um, every now and then I'm a little more biased if somebody, you know, gifts me some coffee. I might, but generally they're well deserved.
Because you're not specifically a reviewer, I guess. You're just more just an overall blogger of
True,
coffee. If
yeah.
you like
And I
coffee, you'll
mean,
probably like this.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I wouldn't say I'm super strict. I don't have this like long list of criteria that I go through to determine,
On my
what rating they
cupping
get.
notes today. Yeah.
Um, but I think there's been a couple times where I've, been a bit more, so we say, so, shall we say, there we go.
Oh, okay.
Shall we say, more brutal in my reviews.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I like to think it's well deserved.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
You
yeah,
ever just
but I mean, again, that coffee might just not have been for me, but
Mm-hmm.
perfect for someone else, right?
Fair enough.
But
I
yeah,
I guess that would be tough to judge if a coffee tastes bad, but you're like, someone might like this.
yeah, it's yeah,
Yeah, that I wouldn't be too sure of. That's why I don't
yeah,
review coffee.
yeah,
Just make it. Hopefully it's
right.
good. I I had a question. It completely slipped my mind there. Um, it's gone. Oh well. You also drinking water?
I am.
Nice. It's like, oh, coffee, brave.
Although
Um,
I thought about getting some coffee for this, but
I was tempted to, and I'm like, even if it was like, no, I shouldn't.
yeah,
I got to be up tomorrow at some
yep.
point in the morning. With with coffee that you found, if you found any that aren't too good, have you like messaged them being like, hey, I think you could probably improve?
um, I've gotten. There's been a few instances where they'll be like, whatever coffee. Shoot us your like brutally honest feedback and that sort of thing.
Oh, okay, cool.
Um, so I try to soften the blow, like, oh, this was good, but
Hmm.
this I found was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I know I would appreciate an honest response because, like,
For
if
sure.
it's if someone who's like a coffee aficionado, and really knows the stuff, which I'm sure you do, um, is like this isn't that good. And like, okay, I'm selling this to a wide audience. Like, I should probably focus
Yeah.
on improving it a bit. So
Right.
I don't know how I'd feel on a public post, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's like these guys could do better. Okay. Well, still buy from us, please. No.
Yeah, right. There's a fine line.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, again, there's another point that comes back to like with certain things that people like. There's like in North America, dark roast is huge,
Oh, for
massive. It's
sure.
slow. It's shifting. Uh,
Thankfully.
yes, in the East Coast, right now, a lot of people are really going for the light and medium roasts,
Yeah.
and that's slowly moving its way west.
Yeah.
But right now, like everyone likes their dark coffee. I'm pretty sure it's because people add milk and sugar, and they
Yep. I
can't
would
taste the
not be
difference. Because coffee tastes
surprised.
bad, therefore you add things to it to make it taste good, and now that's what you're used
Exactly.
to. So someone gives you a specialty coffee, you just add milk and sugar and drink it, and then you say
Yeah.
this tastes good.
Yep.
And then if you tell them, okay, try drinking it black, or maybe like yeah, just black, don't add anything. It
Yeah.
it doesn't taste good because you don't have the taste for coffee. Because I
Yeah.
was exactly that way. I had a medium roast and I thought it like the lighter the roast, the more acidic it is, and
Yeah.
the acidity is what gives a large amount of the flavor. Not that it's acidic, but like the acids in the
Right.
bean. And I did not like that taste at first because I was like, oh, what is this? This is weird coffee, and I didn't like it at all. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm used to my McDonald's one and one. I still
Right.
enjoy every once in a while if I'm in a rush.
Hey, nothing wrong with
Um,
that.
yeah, I started like just drinking it, like continuing to drink it, to be like, okay, what's the flavor here? So I'm sure a lot of people who don't want to get into coffee wouldn't do the same thing, but
For sure.
it's an interesting observation I had.
It is, yeah. Funny enough, I've never been a big fan of dark roasts.
No, okay,
Maybe it's just that I haven't found one that I've liked. But then again, I'm a black coffee drinker too.
yeah. Well, by
But
default, dark roasts are more ashy and smoky,
yeah,
because you're burning
um,
the crap out of the bean for the most
right.
part, and all the oils come out.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not a fan of the ashy notes for
Hmm.
sure. But yeah, so I tend to skew more to that light medium end of the scale.
Do you like do you like what's your favorite kind of flavors in a light medium type of roast?
Um, well, that's actually that's changed in the past year.
Because you're
Because
getting
if you'd
spoiled
asked
with from all
me,
these roasters.
yeah, because if you had asked me like a year ago, I'd be like, I'm a big fan of coffee with like the chocolate notes and the nuttiness and that sort of
Hmm.
thing going on. But lately, I've been getting more of the fruity coffees, which a year ago, like I say, I wouldn't have been a huge fan of, but now I can't get enough.
Nice.
um, and so yeah, like fruity notes. Really digging coffees with citrus notes in them as well.
Okay.
Um, had a couple good Costa Rican coffees lately that so good.
I haven't had any yet.
Oh,
I'll have to try some.
absolutely.
We source Guatemalan and Brazil, so and that's
Which are also good.
also I mean that's the coffee I have our own coffee the most because obviously can get it for much cheaper than
Right.
but I like to try a lot of different ones. If I'm at a coffee shop or something, I'll try different ones. Fine.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I haven't had a sort of Costa Rican.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll have
Yes.
to write that one down.
Absolutely. I'll
Is
send
that
you a few recommendations.
perfect? Yes, that would be awesome. Yeah. Is that your favorite origin bean then?
I think right now it is probably between that and Kenya as well.
Oh, okay.
But when it comes to coffee, I'll try whatever as long as it's decent.
That answer's a cheat answer.
Yeah.
As long as it's coffee. It's acceptable though.
We'll just say there's not an origin that I've met that I haven't liked yet
Okay.
in some capacity.
I was introduced to like different origins and how they're like made and distributed
Mm,
um about a year ago.
mm,
Um yeah, but just over a year ago from someone I met at a cafe in the Vancouver area.
mm.
And it blew my mind because it's a huge commodity. It's a commodity, world commodity, and I did not realize the impact it has. So it was definitely interesting to learn.
Oh,
I'll
for sure.
probably I'll
Yeah,
probably write something about it in a
absolutely.
blog that we have.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it blew my mind. So it's just not something I ever expected when I was just slowly getting introduced into the whole coffee world. So
Oh, absolutely. It's very extensive. It's a very extensive knowledge base.
mhm.
There's a lot of stuff to go through.
Definitely. Like I'm sure it's not interesting to a lot of people. That's
True.
like history buffs being total nerds to history. Like it's the same thing
Yeah.
for most people. I believe most people who very much enjoy different coffees and are interested in that would take a keen interest in.
True.
So that's where I say it's interesting. 'Cause-
It takes a special person.
oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. What have you always had enjoyed black coffee, or did you used to drink it with milk and sugar?
Well, I've come a long way.
Yeah, I'm sure. Keep working in the
um,
industry.
yeah, back when I first was introduced to coffee, I'd get, um, stuff loaded with like sugar and different syrups and that sort of thing. And then I slowly graduated to having coffee with like just some milk or some cream in it. And then eventually weaned myself off of that and just haven't looked back.
Were you
So
determined to drink it black, or what was the reason
I
behind that?
honestly, I think I thought I was being more of an adult by drinking black coffee.
Okay. Psych
Um,
yourself into the adulting mentality.
exactly, yeah, and
Yeah,
it's I've never looked back. It's opened my eyes for sure.
nice.
Because
Okay.
that milk, cream, sugar stuff, it can mask a
Oh
world of
yeah.
hurt for sure.
I mean, that's why I think people still drink Tim Hortons coffee, but that's just
Yup.
me. I had a coworker years ago who would get a 4x4
Ooh,
coffee. And I'm like, is because he asked me to get him a coffee, and he's
yeah.
like, I'll get a 4x4 from Tim Hortons. I'm like, is that what I think that is? He was very serious. You know how much like they gotta like only fill the cup up to half and then pump it with
Yeah,
and
right?
milk and sugar, and that's oh. I'm pretty sure
No,
it's because it was piping hot and he just wanted to just down it and get back to
y-
work.
yeah.
But
Uh,
that's so. I mean, that can't be healthy,
Honestly, that's painful to even just think about.
right? Like I don't know
Yeah,
anyone who'd enjoy that. Like I get that
right?
add the syrups and stuff, make it flavorful, and have yourself your own specialty drink that you like to
Yeah.
order. But that's something else.
Oh, for sure. That's yeah, whole nother ball game.
I tried it. It was not good.
I bet, yeah.
I've taken a spoonful of sugar and put it in my mouth as a child, and that was better than
Yeah,
that
I
was less
believe
sweet than that coffee. So
it.
that's a big reason why. Like, yeah, I've tried Tim Hortons Black, and
Yeah,
I don't like it. I'm
yeah.
sure there's people who enjoy it.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
It
sure.
it it's still coffee that's roasted the normal
Yeah.
way. But I think like they blend it all together. Like they don't make a specific roast per se. They
No.
blend it all together to get so that you don't notice any like impurities, and they burn the crap out of it so that you can't
Yep.
tell. Starbucks is guilty of this too,
Yep, for
except their
sure.
specialty bags that they, I believe,
Yeah.
sell on store shelves. I th-
Hmm.
I think it's that,
I think
or
so
what they make
too.
in store. They have two different versions, I believe.
Yeah. Um, I used to work there too.
You can tell I don't drink much black coffee from
Yeah.
Starbucks. I go there for their mochas and stuff like that when I want to,
Yeah.
because they have really good specialty drinks and holiday drinks and all that
Oh,
stuff.
for
But
sure.
yeah, if I'm going for coffee, I don't go there. So
No, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I got a black coffee from Starbucks or,
yeah,
places like
it's
that.
not bad. But again, I can't remember if it's their in store coffee or if it's off the shelf coffee, where they have better quality beans.
I'm pretty sure it's off the shelf
Yeah.
coffee, but
Okay.
yeah, don't quote me on that
Okay.
though.
It's one or the other. Starbucks does it.
Yeah.
Two different versions. And yeah, it's just, I mean, when you're that big, you can't help it.
No,
You're
it's
not going to
true,
have an
right?
individual guy making sure everything's right on every single
Yeah,
thing. Like, you gotta do it in batches, huge batches, blend them
absolutely.
together so that it's the same, and then ship it out. So
For sure.
that's all I have to say
Yeah.
on that part.
Yeah.
um, yeah. Any other observations or comments on kind of what the coffee culture is right now?
I, to be totally honest, I feel like it's a bit of a mixed bag at this point.
Oh yeah.
Um, Obviously, there's a lot of positives that we've gone through. A lot of innovation,
Hmm.
different roasters popping up, and some really good coffee coming out of that.
Hmm.
But I feel like for someone who wants to make the leap into these niche type coffees, it can also be a bit of an overwhelming experience
The
because you got
dark
so much to
side of
go
coffee
through.
culture.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I think, like I said, I love the coffee community and everything like that. And I think it's in a really good spot
Yeah.
as of now, and I'm I'm excited to see what comes next too.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, the observation of all the people, just trying to, getting into it. It's and again, because there's not a specific science, as we discussed, there's a
yeah,
lot of, like, there could be so many roasters out there, but there's I wouldn't call any of it competition,
true.
because everyone's trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
And I'm quite certain that everyone, people may say they have it figured out and they may have it dialed in for themselves, but
yeah.
there's always new people doing different things. And
Oh,
so I
for
think
sure.
there's a lot more collaboration potential than competitive potential when it comes to the smaller
Absolutely.
roasters and cafes.
Yeah,
Obviously there's the huge corporations, obviously, is a different story, but
right.
when it comes to the smaller roasters and stuff, I think there's a lot to be learned from each other, and it's awesome. Like, these books
Absolutely.
coming out of people who are willing to share that information, and yeah, it is a bit overwhelming for for people who want to get into it.
Yeah.
But the first step's just to start drinking more black coffee and trying it out.
Yeah,
I'm not
baby
good at
steps, right?
Yeah, I'm not good at tasting notes. myself.
Yeah.
I know what I like and what tastes good to me.
Yeah.
But I'm not at the point where I can be like, oh yeah, that's a nutty flavor. I'm still kind of getting into that.
Right.
So yes, I totally understand what you mean by overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
You could probably go on for hours about different flavor profiles, and I'd be lost.
Oh yeah,
Like I know what you're talking about, but I
absolutely.
wouldn't be able to relate because I can't. I'm not at that
Yeah.
point yet. So yeah, no, I appreciate you coming on, having a chat.
Yeah, I
Um,
appreciate you having
yeah,
me.
once we're you got any social media people can kind of find you on?
Yeah, for sure. I'm on Instagram at Matt's Coffee Chat. Name of the blog too,
Matt's Coffee Chat.
mattscoffeechat.ca.
I'll add
Uh,
points on the screen and
yeah,
stuff. But yeah, cool. So
yeah,
it's most the website in Instagram mostly, eh?
yeah. That's
Okay,
mainly
cool. Yeah,
where I
no.
am.
Yep, cool. No, definitely check out the blog if you're interested in different coffees. You do mostly it's all local guys, like in the country, or have you done American stuff?
um, have I done any American? I think I might have done one, maybe two American, but yeah, the vast majority has been Canadian.
Nice. Cool.
And there's still a lot more
Oh
roasters to
yeah,
go through too. So
definitely. Yeah, you want to stay up to date on new stuff,
uh,
check out his blog and his Instagram. Yeah, we have Midnight Roasters, so we don't serve anyone else. But more than happy to shout out. So check out Matt's coffee blog. Perhaps we'll have another chat sometime.
yeah,
This has been
sounds
fun.
good.
So I'll let you go. Have yourself
All
a
right,
good night.
thanks. You too, Matt.